starting a food truck.
Are we hauling it from Florida?
No, but it's a brilliant plan. If you want in, you can get in on the ground floor right now. I already have
How
one
much?
investor. Shippy.
How much do you need?
I don't know yet.
Welcome back to Another Dimension. I'm Quinn.
I'm Trask.
Taylor.
Hey, Taylor.
Hi, Taylor. How are you?
Trying not to cough. I'm going to mute myself.
Taylor is currently battling a
We're good.
horrendous cough.
Allergies.
So what are we
Allergic to
talking
this
about?
podcast.
He's allergic to this podcast and the BS that comes with it. What do you want to talk about this week?
We are going to talk about. Let's talk about what we did last weekend.
What did we do last weekend? Are you talking about me?
Starting with you.
All right. So I don't really get to share stories from the road, but I had a story from
This
the road.
one's from the road.
From the road on my bicycle, not my motorcycle, my bicycle. Last Saturday morning, I went out on a bike ride. It was about 4:45 in the morning, and I was on pace to do about 40 miles. And about 10 miles into the ride, I got a flat tire. And if anyone's ever ridden a road bike, your feet are clipped in. I couldn't get my feet unclipped and tipped over into the ditch.
And it rained the night before.
It rained the night before. So here I am down in the ditch, bike on top of me. I look like a turtle laying on my back. Finally get my feet unclipped.
Did you have your bike shorts on?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Finally get unclipped. First person I call, my wife, who was sleeping with 3 kids at home, so I'm sure that was a great idea, but at the time it was.
Well, hold it back up, and she's already mad at you
Why?
from the night before.
Oh, yeah, because I came home after work and had a couple too many beers. She wasn't really mad. She just wasn't impressed.
Perfect.
I'll leave it at that. Which I don't know if I would be either, but it is what it is. So I call her. She doesn't answer. Call her again. Doesn't answer. So now at this point, I'm, all right, I have a couple buddies that work second shift. I'll give them a call, one being Shippy, one being Corey. Neither of them answer. Call my buddy Grant. He doesn't answer. Finally get a call back from Corey. He goes, yeah, I'll be there in like 10 minutes. I'm just leaving my job from Nina. So he picks me up, whatever, we go out. I get home, get my tire fixed. Fast forward, Corey and I go out riding on Sunday morning. We're about halfway through our bike ride, and all of a sudden Corey was talking to me. I'm like, watch out for that pothole. And sure enough, not sure shit, but sure enough, he hits this pothole and gets a flat tire, and he didn't crash, but that was my weekend.
So then what happened?
I biked home,
Left him there?
left him there, biked home, got my truck, went back, got him, and there was already a person there offering to help, and which was pretty cool.
A fellow biker.
Fellow biker. We stick together.
Bikers stick together.
Corey didn't have biker shorts, though.
He could step it up next
He's not
time.
a true biker. He's getting there.
Sounds like a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor, did you do anything fun?
I had a wedding, so no.
Yeah.
Did you get married?
5 years ago.
No. Okay. What'd you do?
I can't remember yesterday. We had a visitor this afternoon,
Yeah, we did.
former employee.
Yeah, it was nice to see him.
It was nice to see. Call out Jeff.
Das Buschberger.
Das Buschberger.
So what do you want to talk about?
Well, last time we talked about fuel
Fuel prices.
fuel prices,
Yeah.
fuel mileage, fuel surcharge.
Do you want to talk about those again? Just say the exact same thing this week.
And probably say something different.
A little different.
Yeah. So the hot topic this
I
week.
got a really good idea. You should just do everything in reverse. Like when you talk backwards. That would be
Okay.
fun.
Okay. The hot topic this week is really that parking bill.
Yeah, that's all over. There is a parking shortage for truck drivers
In certain areas.
in certain areas. Big metropolitan cities out east and the underdeveloped places, like, not underdeveloped, I shouldn't say that, but
Well, and they're few and far between in
the
some
remote
areas.
areas.
Yeah.
So I think there was a 755 million or billion?
I think million.
Million? Yep. Dollar bill that is on Capitol Hill right now to help with more funding for parking for truck drivers. And the cool part about the bill was it wasn't just for parking alone. You know, it brought up a couple things along the lines of driver safety. Need to make sure that these places are safe for guys to park, or females. Females were a big thing. Like, there's a lot of females getting into this industry, and parking in Gary, Indiana as a female, I'm sure it's probably
Be intimidating.
it's scary. So I thought that was pretty cool. You've been on the road more than obviously way more than I have, actually, whatever. But what are your thoughts on it?
It's definitely a struggle. I mean, we see it every day with our guys,
Yep.
our drivers. Sean had one the other night. He, the closest place to where he was going was.
Sean's name again.
Yes. Hey, Sean, I'm gonna give you a quarter for that.
Yeah.
It's because he's the only one that tells stories.
Yeah.
When you're doing the same lane or same route consistently, it makes it a lot easier, and you get to know the trends. Hey, the Petra Gary, Indiana is full by 6:30.
Yep.
I want to get there at 5:30 or whatever that is. So when you're doing the same thing consistently, it's easier to plan.
Yep. You know what you're up against.
Yeah. Now, if you're going to some place you haven't been ever or in a while, it makes it a little more difficult, and you have to plan ahead. I know there's apps that a lot of our drivers use, Trucker Path,
Yep.
which tells you, where the
Fuel
next
stops, food, parking,
yeah,
all
and
that
what
kind of stuff.
what amenities they have.
Yep.
I would encourage people to use those, but also, use the tools such as your office or your dispatcher to help you plan that. That's, in my opinion, that's what they're there for. They're your lifeline. They're your driver manager is the term or whatever, but they're your ambassador. Like, they're there to help you make your trip go smoothly. And
Not just with parking either.
no.
Yeah.
Pickup numbers, directions, all that stuff. But, getting back to parking, I think there's clearly an issue. I mean, there's been times where you pull into a place and it's full.
Yep.
Well, now you're with e-logs. Now you're looking at your clock and, hey, I've got 16 minutes to find another place. Well, this one says it's 20 minutes down the line. Can I make it?
What do you do?
Well, do what you've got to do. I mean, there's a lot of times you sleep on the side of the road, on ramp or.
Yeah, and explain that. I mean, from someone that hasn't done that, hopefully you have food. Hopefully you have a way to go to the bathroom, roll a toilet paper with you. But the next morning, where do you get your coffee? Where do you get your,
It's not fun at times. It's a tough life, and a lot of those, a lot of drivers, in my opinion, get treated poorly. There used to be, I haven't been out that much lately, but signs that say drivers can't use this restroom when you're at a shipper receiver. It's like, well, what do I have? Monkeypox or whatever is going around right now.
Yeah.
But parking's an issue. So I think back to that. I think the bill's a grant, right?
Yep.
So XYZ truck stop is going to get a grant to put in so many parking stalls.
Yep.
And I think it's a good thing. I feel like most of the truck stops would have put in as much parking as they could with the land that they have, right? It makes sense.
If they could afford it.
If they could afford it, but the more parking spots we have, the more potential revenue we have.
Correct.
Somebody's going to come in here, they're going to go to the bathroom, they're going to buy a soda, they're going to take a shower, they're going to buy fuel, whatever.
Or we can charge for parking now, because that's a huge thing
That is a
wasn't
huge
really
thing.
in the past. Like, there's preferred parking in a lot
And
of.
think about that. I'm sure a lot of people don't know this. There is reserve parking. I think it's anywhere from $13 to $25 a night to park. So, tack that on your day. Then showers.
Yeah.
A lot of places you'll get rewards points with your fuel purchases, and you can earn free
Shower
showers
for
or
free
whatever.
or
Yeah.
park for free.
But if you don't have that, a shower's $15
to take a shower.
to take a shower. So now I have to pay $20 to park and $15 to shower.
Not if you have laundry, it's another $15.
And now you're
it's a
going to charge me
$50
probably
bill.
$13 for a cheeseburger
Yep.
because, supply and demand, you have it and I can't get it from anywhere else.
Yep.
So yeah, at times it sucks out there. That's why a lot of people carry their, I'm getting way off parking, but a lot of
that's
people, carry their own food, have microwaves, grill out.
Which I think adds to the trucking experience if you think about that.
Making it more like home, making it fun.
Yeah, and making it like, hey, something not necessarily to look forward to, but like, hey, I know I got some burgers. Is it thawing or it's not unthawing because I think that would be freezing.
Warming up.
Warm. I don't know. Unfreezing. I think it's thawing.
Thawing.
No, it's not unthawing.
What is it, Taylor?
Unthawing would be freezing because if it's thawing, it's
Thawing.
yeah. I don't know.
Thawing.
But yeah, okay, so it's thawing. And when I shut down for the night, I can throw them on the grill, and maybe you're running with someone else that you know, and hey, we can cook out and
And that happens a lot.
yeah.
So
The one part that I can't wrap my head around on this bill is how come the parking issue is now? In a world where we are saying that the industry is short drivers, or there is a trucking shortage, or a driver shortage, why wasn't this issue 10 years ago? Or was it?
I can't answer that. I'm going to say
don't
it
know.
probably was.
Is it just because it's more
I'm going to
televised, I
say
guess,
something maybe a little controversial, but I think e-logs may have had a big effect on that.
I would agree with that.
If you wanted to get someplace on paper logs, you were going to get there.
You could.
Yes.
Whether that was,
Whether that was right or wrong, it
could.
happened.
and it allowed guys to be able to stop and start whenever they wanted.
It made it. Here's a scenario. I used to go to Chicago all the time.
Yep.
And I know from 3 till 5, 3 till 6, whatever, Chicago is going to be congested.
Okay.
I would stop at a state line, take a nap for an hour or two.
I got a joke.
I'd take a nap for an hour or two, and then go in after traffic, go in, do what I needed to do, swap out, and get back out. Now you do that, your clock was continuously running at that point too. But you could have split sleeper bursts, and it was easier to
Just say it.
accommodate.
Fudge.
Easier to do what you needed to do
To make sure that you could get
and
there.
still be safe. You knew your own limits, which there's still guys doing that today. But back to that, I think e-logs probably changed that a lot because,
There's no way to fake it.
yeah, either you've got to stop short because that's the only one available, or you might run over because that's where I need to get to. And any DOT officer or safety person is going to say that comes down to planning, and that's easy to say sitting in an office.
I would agree.
That's
And they are loosening some of that up. They are trying to give guys, the benefit of the doubt. Now, you can't say, hey, this is the only truck stop I passed when you passed 12 of them that are empty.
That's fair. Yes.
But if you were getting to the next truck stop and a DOT officer went back and looked, I'm sure that there would be some leeway there.
I would hope so. All right, what's your joke?
A truck pulling a load of antihistamines crashed on the highway. Surprisingly, there was no congestion.
Wow. Yeah.
I don't know
On
why I
that
just
note-
I don't know why I just remembered that.
On that note,
I thought it was going to be dirty.
did we answer anything about this parking bill? We brought it up.
We brought it up, but I think
it's
that's
a-
what we're trying to do. Just
yeah,
bring up topics.
it's,
our opinion.
Yeah.
We won't hear it. Don't worry.
Okay.
But there's some listeners who were asking us to do this. Joe,
Yep.
Jeff, John, Pete.
Pete wants to be on the podcast.
So
Good old.
we asked you guys for some topics, and you haven't stepped up. Joe hasn't even stopped in to see us in.
A month, 2.
Yeah.
It's about time he probably brings pizza again. Just call us this time.
Feeling left out, Joe. So,
Anything else?
no, you
Nothing
got any other killer jokes?
Not really.
I heard a really long one on the radio this morning.
Do you remember it?
I could piece it together.
Do it. Try it.
So this guy was, this guy bought a Cadillac, and he was telling this other gentleman about it. So he's like, yeah, I've got this Cadillac. It's got these leather seats. It's got these power windows. It's got a fridge in the back. It's got Wi-Fi. It's got, it drives on its own.
That's pretty cool.
And actually, I think the guy was buying something, right?
Okay.
So he's telling the gentleman about his new car, and he pulls some money out of his pocket, and it was like $5.17. I think that was what they used. So he gives him the $5, and he's digging his pocket for change, and he pulls out the change, and in there was some change and some golf tees. And the guy says to he asks him, what are the wood things in your hand? He goes, well, those are where I set my balls when I drive. And the guy says, well, Cadillac's thought of everything. Sorry.
Really?
So you can cut that out if it wasn't
better
very
than mine.
good.
No, that's
It
pretty
was
good.
on the radio.
So we can say it on the podcast.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you want me to redo it? Was it bad?
No.
No, that's good.
Okay.
No. That was good.
I just forgot to laugh.
It wasn't. No, it wasn't good.
All right. Take us home.
That's it, I guess. Thanks for listening to another week of the podcast. We'll be back next week. See you later.
Have a good one.
All right, guys. That is a wrap for episode 19. Thank you for tuning in, and make sure you stay tuned for weekly episode releases coming up. Make sure to also follow us on all of our social media pages. And finally, if anybody has any stories or topic ideas they'd like us to talk about, please send them in. We want to hear what you guys want to hear. So, again, send us those ideas, and we'd love to talk about them. Other than that, thanks again, and see you next week.